Okay, so let's talk about abundance because this thing about abundance seems to be coming up quite a bit. Now, from a personal experience, I have always struggled with this concept of abundance in understanding what am I abundance with, what am I abundance for, and stuff like that, right? And that's really because I'm always looking at myself and saying, well, I am not abundant. But that's really because we look at abundance from the storage of value that we can see, feel, and touch, right? And what I mean by that is our abundance comes in the form of the house that we have, the car, the people around us, the possession that we sort of have every day. That's the easiest form of abundance. That's the one that we know about. What if abundance isn't just based on the store of value, but your medium of exchange? What do I mean by that? One of the five principles that I have for this dimension, which the five principles are, and if you don't know what they are, let me just go through that with you. The first one is unconditional love for all. Then the second one is freedom of choice. Third, do no harm. Fourth is medium of exchange. And fifth is thankfulness, gratitude, and mindfulness. Our medium of exchange is what we technically use as a storage of value. Or because our medium of exchange is technically used as that storage of value, or we look at it as what it is that we can see, feel, and touch. If we can see, feel, and touch it, then it is definitely something that has stored value. So if you look at say for instance, the camera that I'm using, or the lights that I'm using around, the tents that I'm in, these are all valued. These are all stuff that stores value, which means I could exchange them for something else, right? And so all our abundance seems to be surrounding these medium of these storage of value. Now it's interesting to also note that storage of value could be a meal that you have prepared. You prepared a meal and you're giving it to your loved ones, or you are selling it, right? Like people do that. Okay, you go to a restaurant and you buy. You're really not storing anything apart from the amount that you're storing on your on your body and stuff. But you pay for it, right? You pay using a stored medium to that individual. So what happened is our abundance is across a spectrum that is of different value to different people based on the importance that they place in that object. So your abundance has a spectrum of value. It's not an abundance to you, it's really an abundance to the person that you're going to exchange something for, that you can use that abundance. You can use that abundance to get something back, right? And you're going to look at it and say, well, if I give you X, then I'm going to get back Y. Okay, that's where that abundance really comes in. So we want to be abundant in the amount of stored value that we have, because we don't go from moment to moment exchanging all the time. We have to save something. You have social bank account where, if you sort of do things for different people, then you've actually invested or deposited into a social bank account. And so that social bank account is something that you will reap benefit from later on. Of course, what's going to happen is the value you put on that is different from the value somebody else puts on that. And then when you say, well, if I did this for you, then you can do that for me, you don't have a way of balancing the entire thing to bring it to one level. That is why the stored value from your exchange of service, of goods or service, So that is what our abundance is. We want to be able to say, hey, whenever I need something, I can go pick up that stored value and give it to someone that holds that thing as important. If you bring $10 to a candy store, you give it to them, they hold that $10 as important, because if you're here in the US or any other country, basically the country backs that paper. And so it's a known value, right? It's something where you can say, hey, this says it's worth $10, and this $10 is understood by everyone across the board. All right. If you were to bring in a lovely guitar set to this person who has no need for a guitar, okay, and you said, hey, I'm gonna give you a guitar and you give me candy, they might look at it and go, well, I don't know, but if I look at this guitar and I look at the amount of candy that you want, I don't know if I'm gonna get a good exchange for that. Okay, you might need a whole truckload of candy and you're giving them a guitar, and they don't know that the guitar is actually worth more than the whole truckload of candy. So your abundance isn't recognized there. So why am I telling you this? Understanding the abundance that you have, and is it recognized by others? The trick is to get your form of abundance to be recognized by others. The trick is to get your form of abundance to be recognized by others. Because I'm telling you this right now, it is amazing how many things people will give you stored abundance for, stored value for, which means cash or gold if they can give you gold. Because you can walk the dog, you can sing a song, write a song, you can write the poem, you can do so many things, and then someone will give you a stored value for it. So we just have to rethink what it is that abundance really is, and start looking at all these different things that are our talent, right? That are our talent that we can use. We have been conditioned so much that there are specific channels that we have to use to receive these form of abundance. And some things people will look at it and go, oh, I can't even believe that someone would pay me to do this. Or it is something that is so important to one person, but the amount that they would get from someone else for this doesn't rise to the level of importance that they would, want it to. So therefore, abundance is not the same across the board. And when we look at it from a point of view of difference with other people, it's almost like our abundance isn't worth it. So we need to start figuring out, how do we utilize the form of abundance that we have and be able to get stored value for it as we go through. All right. Well, that's my video on abundance, and next time we'll talk about something else. I don't know why we call it abundance. It's really a stored medium, and so we want to be abundant in the amount of stored value that we have. And when I say we, I'm talking about myself, because as I said, I had issues with abundance, and the reason is, a helicopter is passing, and if you can't hear that in the mic, then this mic is damn good. Okay. All right. All right. So yeah, it's technically goods or service, because they're service that you actually put into making the good, right? But the stored value. So it's a stored value that you put in there that you're looking for.